Hi, everybody. Dave Kincaid here with Alberta Business Grants. Hope you're having an awesome day today. Got a really cool special guest for you today. It's Brett Hodis of TECHNATION. And Brett's here to talk about TECHNATION and about a really cool funding program they've got. So, Brett, first of all, thanks for coming on the show.
Pleasure to be here. Very exciting.
Yeah, Brett, why don't you just first begin with tell us a bit about TECHNATION.
TECHNATION is a national nonprofit organization or membership organization with about 250 members right across Canada. We were formerly known as the Information Technology Association of Canada. And essentially we serve as an industry government nexus for technology prosperity in Canada, coast to coast to coast. I'm part of our future workforce development team. So we're very interested in obviously developing future workforce and examining different ways that we can contribute to developing talent in the tech space and really delivering tools and programs and resources to address the talent gap in our sector.
So, Brett, my audience, I'm always trying to teach them about grants and how they work and how funding works. And I think a lot of people get confused when they hear about funding programs from organizations that aren't government. So can you explain a little bit how TECHNATION is involved with the delivery of funding to businesses?
For sure. And I think, there's a couple things that'll play off of there. Number one, sometimes it can be overwhelming, as you mentioned, and sometimes you'll see a grant and you go, oh, that's not for me, or there's a lot of red tape, that's going to take a lot of time. I want to drive home that our program is very accessible, very quick process, and a very quick turnaround as well. And so our funding is originated through ESDC and the Government of Canada, so that's Employment Social Development Canada. And a few years ago, they put together a big sort of pot of money and called it the Student Work Placement Program. And they called upon different industry leaders to come forth, put together a proposal, as I mentioned earlier, to deliver a wage subsidy program along with affiliated sort of tools and resources to help address talent gaps in their sector, and also to promote work-integrated learning, co-op and work-term placements for students. And so that's how we were able to earn not one, but two. Actually, in fall, we received a large expansion contract because of our success nationwide.
And sort of that, what does that mean when you say an expansion project?
The course of the project was to be from 2017 to 2021, but we've actually earned an expansion contract.
Oh, cool.
So we have a lot more money to issue now. We have a lot of different sort of programs and events and affiliated projects that we're delivering, and we'll be around until winter of 2022.
Okay, great. And we're going to get into those programs in a minute, but I just wanted to kind of teach my audience about two things. One is sort of, I don't know if it's the right term, but I call them sort of delivery agents. It's sort of these national industry leaders in certain sectors that the government trusts to give capital to, has a stronger relationship with the tech community, which is pretty, I think, really, really cool. But it gets confusing for sometimes like the company out there. They're like, who is this entity?
Exactly.
The second part I thought we'd do is, I just want to, before we switch over to the program, is let people know, or Brett, maybe you can, just about this rebranding that you guys are doing, because I know that's going on. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to what's going on, a little bit more clarity around the rebranding, so that when we get into it, we can understand a little bit more.
Yeah, so as of April 2022, if you're visiting any of our pages or looking at any of our collateral, you might still see some of the ITAC branding. In the next couple months, we'll be transitioning. And, there's kind of an interesting story there. We were the IT Association of Canada, which, I think kind of, narrowed us down into sort of one sort of area or section of technology. But I feel like we've kind of grown out of that, right? So we're now TECHNATION, and I think that's sort of an acknowledgement that there's technology in all these different spaces. We support, tech companies and non-tech companies. I just think that technology in 2022 is everywhere. So if you're not kind of a traditional tech company, you still probably are operating with a lot of tech anyway. So we want to,
especially now.
Yeah, I mean, working from home, right? So we've all had to adapt. But I think the message there is, in the first contract of the funding that we got was more traditionally for students in tech roles from tech backgrounds. So they had to be, in an IT program or computer science. Now with that expansion contract that we earned, it's very multidisciplinary. So we're seeing students from arts and humanities being placed into tech immersive roles. Business has been highly digitized, like digital marketing and communications is all online now. And so we're really trying to sort of identify and support a lot of hybrid careers and hybrid roles between the arts and humanities and STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics space.
Well, I am a political science grad, so I'm really glad to hear that, Brad. All right, that's fantastic. Why don't you begin to just tell us an overview of, my audience is a lot of small business owners. A lot of them want to hire students. So why don't you just kind of tell us a bit about your program?
Yeah, and we work 80% of our funding for every placement period is committed actually to small, medium enterprises. And we allow 20% of large enterprises to come in and request funding. But we work very closely with a lot of SMEs and scale-ups and startups.
Cool.
The wage subsidy, the earning potential is up to $7,000 for each student that you hire for a work term. And our work terms last, they can be greater than 4 months, but we offer 3 cohorts to apply within for each year. So there's winter, summer, and fall.
Oh, wow. So a company can get a summer student, but they could also get a fall or a winter placement student as well.
Exactly. And you could potentially even hire a winter co-op and then hire them in summer kind of as a paid intern. And you can apply again that second time for funding to keep.
Oh, wow. That's great. And so in terms of, I know a lot of people get confused around the Canada Summer Job Grant, and then there's this program. And I know the Canada Summer Job Grant is going through some changes, but I just wanted to let people know that the programs are different. And maybe, Brett, you could speak to that for a minute.
Sure. So, there's kind of an announcement the first week of April that they would be expanding the Canada Summer Jobs Grant. And that would be specifically for people who have already come through and been approved. So as far as we know as of today, Canada Summer Jobs applicants who have already applied, funding closed in February, they may be eligible for up to 100% of an increase. That's through Canada Summer Jobs, also funded through ESDC, but we are part of the Student Work Placement Program, so it's a different body completely. And so our funding structure remains 50% of wages, up to $5,000. Or as I mentioned earlier, there is also up to $7,000 that you could earn. We reserve that category for underrepresented students. So if you happen to recruit a student, a woman in STEM or business, Indigenous folks, persons with disabilities, recent immigrants who have earned permanent residency within the last 5 years, and kind of students who are new to work integrated learning or work terms as well. So if your student is doing their first co-op placement and you're recruiting for maybe a first or a second year student, they would also be eligible for the increased wage subsidy.
And a classic question I get asked from employers is, do they have to have the student before they apply, or can they apply and then get accepted and then go get the student? How does that work?
Excellent question. You can come into our web portal, which is very easy to use, and you can begin the process by building your employer profile or even receiving a pre-approval certificate. You can do that independently, although we do generally recommend that you have your student selected prior. And there's a number of ways that you can recruit a student. One, you can post on your favorite job board or any other sort of traditional recruitment methods. 2, you could reach out to co-op or career services offices at post-secondary institutions in your area. They really like to learn about your company and learn about what you do, and they'll actually do a lot of the matching for you. And they'll try and sort of maintain a long-lasting relationship with you, so that if students who are interested in your particular function as a business, they'll make sure that they connect you. And number 3, there's this really wonderful platform that recently launched, and we have a really great partnership with, called Campus Connect. Mm-hmm. You'll actually find a link to it on our website. And what you can do is you can come in and build as an employer, you can build out a profile. and you can type in or enter the job description that you're looking to fill, and tell it a little bit about some of the the areas of expertise that you might be looking for in the students. So you could select computer science or arts and humanities background, what have you. And it will actually, through an interface, broadcast that job description to post-secondaries in your region if they have that interface turned on. So that can be
Oh,
a
wow.
really great, time-saving measure. And there's also an option for you to affiliate with the TECHNATION Career Ready program on that site, so that once you've been matched with that student, they'll bounce you back to us, and we can help you with the funding.
Yeah, and I just want to kind of go through, just because it's sometimes people will have questions of how they find the program, and you might be listening to this. So it's ITAC, itactalent.ca, and you go to programs down to work integrated learning, and then for employers is where I took them.
That's the best landing page for you to kind of come in and be
Yeah.
able to take a snapshot of all of the eligibility criteria. There's an FAQ there that's excellent. And then there's also a link to the application portal if you're ready to sort of begin or get that
She's right there.
pre-qualification certificate.
Yeah.
Or there's also a link to the Campus Connect platform if you do need support recruiting a student.
Okay, cool. So the employer should come in, get to this page. They can click on apply today. And once they're here, they can register. Oh yeah, there it is. There.
And we have we've worked really hard over the last year since we've introduced the online platform to make it a really streamlined process. So I do want to let folks know that that it's not really going to take you a lot of time. I think probably the biggest time commitment is maybe making sure that you found the right student for you. But like I said, there's these really great tools out there. And, in light of COVID-19, there's actually a lot of students who have lost their opportunities. So if you find yourself in a position to be able to take advantage of the subsidy and provide a meaningful work experience, which is tech immersive for a student this summer, I highly recommend it, because the talent pool is quite large, and there's a lot of really talented folks out there.
Yeah, and I think your point earlier, Brett, because a lot of people think around the student needs to be someone with a computer science background, but that's not the case. It's like you're looking for people with any sort of digital tech role in the company. Like, is that fair to say?
Yeah, and there's some examples online, but some of the most popular ones are digital marketing and social media, digital communications coordinators. If you're looking for folks to do coordinate projects or to be a business analyst in a number of your business operations, graphic artists, anyone doing UX or UI design. We have funded a lot of students in linguistics too, like just
That's
to kind of
awesome.
give you an example, who are coming in and working with language translation softwares. So yeah, you can kind of go right across the board. AI, cybersecurity are very popular placements for us as well. But as long as you can make the rationale that the student is immersed in technology in a way that's sort of meaningful to their area of study, we would be happy to support that.
Okay, that's great. And Brett, for people that are watching, the best way, again, if they have any questions, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
You can reach out directly to one of our program coordinators at careerready@technationcanada.ca. And again, you're welcome to visit us online at itactalent.ca/careerready, as you kindly had put up on the screen earlier. The turnaround for an application is probably only about 1 week, maybe 2 weeks maximum. Wow. We've been pretty good. So you'll hear back really quick. Applications are rolling too, so if you're not quite decided on a student, or you need a flexible start date and they can't quite start the first week of May, we're happy to hear from you in June as well. There should be enough funding by then.
Brett, it's been really, really helpful. Really, thank you for taking time out of your day to come on and just help everyone watches this on my email list and on my website to learn about the program. Thanks.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.